I am happy to be here. This is Amber Scales Hernandez, and I have some really cool stuff to talk about today. I have been going through some weird waves. Have you ever wondered in your life, why am I going through this? Why have I gone through this? Maybe you're in the middle of a hard time or a stuck moment or a traumatic time in your life, a really traumatic season or a traumatic relationship, either with your partner or your kids. There are so many times in our lives where we go through these really hard times, like really hard. And we have to kind of figure out how to move through them. And I've had a lot of trouble with this. It's taken me 40 years to learn how to move through and heal from my traumas, from my hard times, from the broken relationships, broken friendships, and eventually my broken self. And I had to kind of think about what has helped me move through this stuff. And I used to ask, why? Why did this happen to me? Why did this person betray me? Why did God give me a child that I couldn't take care of? Why did God make me like this? Is there a God? And then coming back to, I must deserve this. I must have deserved all of this. Because otherwise it wouldn't happen, right? Right? And I have learned that that's not true. I did not deserve the things that I went through. It's not about deserving. You did not deserve your pain. And sometimes we ask ourselves, why? Why? And we think that's going to make it better, right? If I just know why this person did this, if I just know why I was like this, if I just knew any of that. But I'm going to tell you something. The why, it doesn't matter. Oh, this is really hard for me to say, okay? Like, I was a why child. My mom wanted to tell me, you need to clean your room. Well, why? You need to stop. Sorry, my cats. You need to stop talking in class, and get your work done and let people get their work done. Well, why? Everything why. And bless my mother's soul. She answered me. She was a wise woman. She had an answer for everything. But what that taught me was there's an answer for everything. There's an answer to my whys. And I had a lot of whys. But sometimes that answer and asking that question can keep us in the mud of our past. And when we go digging through that mud, we get a little dirty. We get a little dark. We get a little, get some dirty fingernails. And then we get stuck. We get stuck in the mud. And then sometimes it turns into quicksand. Like that's what happened to me. Everything just dried up and I'm all dirty and sinking. Fast. Hard. And wondering why. Why? But the why isn't important. And I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you why. Because the purpose is what we're looking for. What we can look for. It's a choice. If you want to know why and you want to go digging in your past and get all dirty and dark and miserable and wet and soggy and gross, have at it. Have at it. I'm not going to tell you any differently. I did it for 40 years. 40 years, guys. Really. But if you choose to look for the purpose, some things can change. And then you don't have to keep going through these cycles of hell. Well, Amber, what's the difference between why and finding a reason and the purpose? That's a good question. I asked it many times when I was learning this stuff. The purpose is like climbing out of that mud pit. Somebody putting a hand out and yanking you out of that quicksand. And looking for the purpose is like taking the best, warmest, hot shower and everything just falling off. So what do I mean by that? Finding the purpose gets you out of it. It gets you focused on the future and how you're going to react differently. What did you learn? What can you carry with you through that experience? And this can be tough. There were some experiences where I was just like, I didn't learn nothing. Screw you. They hurt me. And that was the only lens I could look at it through for a while on some things. I mean, betrayal's hard. Becoming homeless and not being able to take care of my child was hard. My gosh, my cats are really on one. I'm sorry. But I have found the purpose. My purpose is the growth. Oh my gosh. The purpose is the growth, the lesson. I am stronger. I am more resilient. But probably one of the best and biggest purposes for my pain, for the betrayals, for even me ending up homeless, is learning to trust myself. Have you ever been betrayed? Have you ever been cheated on? Have you ever just been fucked over? I'm going to be real. I have too. And did you get any little nudge in your heart, any red flag flying in your mind? Did anything at any time before that happened tell you this isn't good? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. That didn't feel good. That didn't feel comfortable. Oh, why'd they say that? Oh, why'd they do that? Why didn't they do that? Any of that before that big betrayal? If you're like me, you got some yellow flags and some red flags, and you're like, oh, it's fine. It's fine. I'm just paranoid. I'm just worried for no reason. I mean, I have anxiety, so, maybe I'm just thinking too much. Well, maybe I wasn't thinking enough. But the truth is I didn't trust myself. I didn't listen to myself. And I could have prevented so many hardships from coming into my life had I just trusted myself. And sometimes trusted some of those around me, or trusted the situation and paid attention to it instead of just push it under the rug. But I didn't. There's a lesson. That's growth. That's growth. So next time, I'm going to trust myself and I'm going to walk away. Or I'm going to address it and I'm going to let it be as important as it feels. Our hearts and our minds don't tell us these things for no reason. They don't. They tell us as warnings. Our body will give us warnings. We might start having skin problems. We might start getting rashes and wonder why. We might start getting sick on a regular basis. We might be getting headaches on a regular basis. Our stomach and our digestive issues might be getting a little out of hand. You can attribute this to what you ate, or the lotion that you're using, or your period if you want. I mean, you can do so many different things and blame it on so many different things. But I have learned. It's been my body telling me this isn't working out. Something inside and something outside isn't working out. And when I changed my thought process on it and stopped taking Pepcid and stopped taking Tylenol and stopped doing drugs and alcohol, I mean, there's that, I realized this was my body warning me, telling me, and giving me a heads up. And I need to listen to myself. That's evolution right there. That's growth. That's healing. That is something I can take away from my betrayals, from my hard times, from so much. And I can move forward now, and I'm healthy. My psoriasis and eczema has cleared up. My migraines went away. My bleeding ulcers in my stomach healed. And now I can eat stuff. Almost anything. Actually, anything. I actually just had some spicy food not too long ago, and it was fine. Because I've addressed the things inside. I have learned to listen to myself, trust myself, believe in myself. And one of the biggest lessons I learned from my homeless experience, which I can now tell you was a gift. One of many of the biggest gifts in my entire life, which that took me a while. That took me work. Ooh, gosh. But I did it. I did the work. And I ended up homeless because I felt like I had no worth. I felt like I wasn't worthy of this life. I didn't know how to live in this life. I didn't know how to be in this life. And death wouldn't take me, no matter how hard I tried. And what was left? Self-destruction. Do you ever feel like that? Like, I'm not meant to be here. Why am I even here? What's the point? My life has no meaning. I can't do anything right. I can't meet the right people. I can't find a good, healthy relationship. People keep hurting me, taking advantage of me, and doing me dirty. Why? What is the point of this? Are we really supposed to live to suffer? These were my thoughts for so long. And ending up homeless with nothing taught me so much. So many things that I didn't look outside myself to see that I took for granted. I lost my child. He had to go and live with my mom. And why would I be given a child that I couldn't take care of? Why would I make so many mistakes and leave him feeling lost and abandoned? Why would God give him a mother like me? I don't deserve him. And those beliefs, they led to me having to give him to my mom and to me being homeless because I felt like that's what I deserved. For all the mistakes I had made, for who I was, who I wasn't. And I thought that he would never recover and that I had screwed his whole life up. And thank God I was wrong. I was wrong. And I needed to lose everything. I needed to make those mistakes. So I could show him, I could show myself that we can overcome anything. Anything. And I came into this life. And for anybody who's a mother, I really want you to listen to this. And actually, even if you're not a mother and you have a mother, I want you to listen to this. Or a parent. I came into this life to go through everything I did. To have a teenage mom, to have an alcoholic stepfather, to have never met my biological father, and to feel like chaos was how I was supposed to live because that's how I felt my childhood was. And then I took that chaos and made it home for the next 25 years. But had I had not gone through all of that and lost everything, I would not be where I am today. I would not get to sit here and tell you any mistake you think you've made, every failure you think that is irreparable, unforgivable, and that you deserve anything bad that happened after it, I'm here to tell you, you're wrong. You're wrong. You didn't deserve it. It has a purpose. Just the other day, actually, let me back up. I don't want to go on that tangent just yet. The reason that I talk about everything I've been through is it's helping me to be the parent I need to be, to teach my son, and to understand that my son came here to evolve, to grow in his own way, for his own reasons, from beginning to end. And that meant he was meant to have me as a mother, just like I was meant to have my mother as a mother. And he was meant to go through the hardships that he went through. And he's been through a lot of them, and he's only 15. But he was meant to go through all of it because there's a purpose down the road. It could be 2 months from now, 2 years from now, or 20 years from now. It all has a purpose that was made just for him. Our kids, their whole lives don't just depend on us. They came here on their own with their own purpose in life and their own struggles planned. And you, as a parent, or our parents as parents, did everything that we and they were supposed to do to get us to our purpose and for us to get our kids to their purpose. Whatever that may be. It might be something that you agree with. It might not. But that's okay. So every mistake I've made, every choice I labeled as bad, every trauma I put into his life, it all has a purpose. And it's a good purpose. It's an evolutionary purpose. I feel my son is going to go on to really big and great things. I have so much faith in him, in everything. Our relationship, I mean, he's a teenager, so he doesn't like me, and that's okay. I'm trying to accept that still. But he's a good young man. He's a good person. He's a caring person. And yeah, he's a little stubborn, and he thinks he knows everything. But I taught him those things. And now I get to teach him different things because I made the choice to be happy. Because I made the choice to learn from my traumas, from my mistakes, from my choices. And we are healthier because of it. So if you think your relationship's in the dumps, you can't repair anything with your kids, or your parents for that matter, have you tried? Have you tried? I used to think, oh, well, my kid needs to go to therapy and my wife needs to go to therapy and we need to do family therapy and couples therapy and blah, 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 blah. Because I just didn't want to look at myself, really. But once I did, and I made the choice to let them be and Googled how to be happy. I know that sounds really cheesy, but I had made a deal with the divine. I thought I was just fighting in my head, but I made a deal with the divine. God, I'm going to kill myself. Save my son. Save my son's kids. Because there are really horrible statistics if a parent commits suicide for not only just your offspring, but theirs, without ever even meeting you. And that kept me from trying many, many times. And I said, save my son, save his kids if he chooses to have any. And if I cannot figure out how to be happy, let me die. And the divine answered. I thought it was me in my mind, but I don't know. I knew deep down that this deal was real. Don't ask me how, but somehow I knew. And the next day, excited that my son would be saved and I could kill myself without any guilt, and his children would be saved. I decided I had to put in 100% effort. That was the agreement. I talked about this in a previous podcast in detail. But I made this agreement, and I was told several times, but you have to put in 100% effort to learn to be happy. If you do that and you still can't figure it out, then I will honor our deal. Okay. I didn't think I'd know and learn and figure out how to be happy. I mean, shoot, it had been, almost 40 years? Like, come on. But we had a deal. So I Googled how to be happy. No shit. And I made an intention to go through that page of so many things and try each one and see if they worked out. Because I had to keep up my end of the deal to save my child, to save his. And I did. And some things worked well. I learned something from everything I tried. And some things didn't work, and I didn't keep a hold of them. And that was fine. And guess what? Just making that intention to be happy. Just Googling how to be happy. It's still funny to me. I learned how to be happy. It took years. I won't lie. Becoming miserable and suffering for 40 years is it's a long time. That's a long time to learn how to and be addicted to being miserable. And I definitely was. I didn't know any other way. But the percentage of years it took to become happy and to make my whole entire household happy and healthy and productive and calm, it was a tiny percentage of my life. Tiny percentage of my life's years. That's it. That's it. Worth it. God, so worth it. Now our son has good grades. He is playing tennis, trying new things, making new friends. He even has a girlfriend. And my wife and I, we were toxic for almost 20 years. The definition of toxic. We drove each other to want to die. Both of us. That's how horrible we were to each other. Because we needed each other to survive, or at least we felt that way, which makes it true. And now we have the best relationship we've ever had, by far. We communicate now with our feelings because I listen and she's speaking up. We haven't had a fight in years. Years. Yes, I said it. I once calculated, paid attention to how long we could go without fighting. And the longest was 3 weeks. For like 15 years. If we were around each other. 3 weeks. And now it's been, gosh, maybe 5 years since we've been in a fight. We disagree. I can't even say we have arguments anymore. We might heatedly disagree, and we take our moments, and then we come back together, and we come to a compromise. And it's so natural now. It's so natural now. We don't raise our voices anymore. I don't scream and yell and throw things and stomp out of the house and run and get drunk and do stupid things. We just love each other now. That's all that's left. And all that took, you guys, my wife's worked on herself. She's done a lot of work on herself, but she was in survival mode because I was so crazy. And I don't say that as like, oh, she's cray-cray. No, I was the definition of insane. I've been labeled all kinds of different things. Borderline personality disorder, bipolar disorder, depressed, anxious, ADHD. So many things. And they were all true. All true. So, if I can get out of all of those mental illnesses and get to a place of health and wealth, all of our bills are paid. We live on the central coast of California. Our place isn't big. We're not rolling in it yet. But man, we're happy. We're healthy. Our bills are paid. My wife is really good at that. There's groceries every week. We're even eating healthy now. Our son is doing well. He's like probably the best teenager anybody can have. Given everything he's been through, like he's a really great teenager. Like he's grown. We've all grown. And it's so possible. Everything is possible. But the change doesn't happen out there, over there, up there, back there. It happens here. here is where everything happens. This is where everything changes. I feel like me finding my worth is helping my family find theirs. Slowly but surely, because you can't heal and grow and evolve and those around you not do the same. Because if they're not doing the same when you're healing and growing and evolving, you make choices to be around people who are doing the same thing because they lift you up. If it feels good, if you feel good about something, your body tells you, your mind tells you, your heart tells you. If you want to know, if you want an answer to anything, ask yourself and then listen. Listen and trust yourself. You're going to have hiccups. There's going to be a lesson. If you have a hiccup and you're like, oh, that was the wrong choice. Why did I listen to myself? You can. But how about, what can I learn from it? Why doesn't matter? What is the purpose for this mistake? What is the purpose for this wrong choice? These are just labels. What can I learn from what just happened? That's all that you need to know. Ask yourself. Listen. And then if you get an urge to do something different, do it. And then watch things change. It sounds simple, but it takes practice. You're going to hear me say that a lot. Actually, I think I already do. It's in a lot of my videos, my podcasts. It takes practice. But once you have a desire, whatever you desire, I desire to have a healthier relationship. I desire more communication in my relationship. I desire to experience love instead of need. I desire to be done with anxiety. I desire to be done with ADHD and depression. I desire to feel better about myself. I desire to be worthy, to know that I am worthy of greatness, of awesomeness. I am worthy of a great, magical life, full of dreams coming true. I desire a better position at work. I desire to make more money. I desire to have friends that will be there for me. I desire connection. I desire a new car. I desire a bigger house. I desire to be better with money so I can get all those things. Okay. Any of those work? Whatever. What do you want? What do you desire? Think about it. Now, ask yourself and then make an intention. What can I do to get there? What can I do to get to? Pick one thing. That's my thing. One thing mindset, one thing at a time. I have learned too many things at once is a little too much. And then I get backtrack. I have to backtrack and I'm not trying to do the like 1 step forward and 5 steps back anymore. Been there, done that. One thing, just one thing. One desire, one want. Focus on it. How can I get there? What is one tiny step? My tiny step evolution. It works. What is one tiny step that I can do to get there? All right. Listen. Whatever comes up, listen. Now, make an intention with your heart, with your mind, with your body. Sit and I make the intention to fill in your blank. I can't answer that for you. I can give you all kinds of desires because a lot of those were, not a lot of them. I think they were all mine. But, oh, my cute little baby. My cats, they like to chime in, especially this one. She loses me sometimes, I think. So, make your intention. And then imagine the feeling you will get. This goes together. Imagine the feeling you will get when that desire comes to pass. So, you want the bigger house. You want the better relationship. You want love. You want a better job. Now just sit with it. What does that feel like? Ooh, that feels good. We like it. All right. I make the intention to. Fill in your blank. Those two things together, put everything, all your power to work for you. For you. That's what's important. For you. Nobody else. You have no control over anybody else. Sucks. Sucks ass. I know. But it's the truth. But you do have control over you. And once you change you, everything around you changes in time. But it does. But the most important thing, everything changes within you as well. And that's the most magical part, at least for me. Changing everything inside and not feeling horrible about myself and like I'm a total piece of shit. I'm worthless. I'll never get anywhere. Like those were pretty much my standard thoughts and beliefs for a good solid 25, 30 years. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. And now I know I am worthy. The purpose for my life, you're watching it. You're watching it. Because if you're watching this, you were meant to see it. And all of my pain, you're the purpose. You are the purpose. So I can help others. I can understand others. I can be compassionate for others. And then I can share little tips and tricks and tools that help me go from being completely suicidal and making a suicide pact with God to being happy, healthy, well, and feeling fabulous most days. I have contrasting days. Don't think that, everything's all good all the time. No, because we don't learn anything if everything is good all the time. And I'll never stop learning. Somebody once said, to stop learning is to stop living. And when I stopped learning and listening and doing different things and being different things, I absolutely stopped living. I did my best to actually end my life multiple times. So we got to learn. And to do that, we got to roll. There's a flow of life. It comes in waves. It comes in waves. When you're riding up high, ride that wave, baby. Ride that wave. Ride it. And then when you feel yourself coming down, just catch yourself. Catch yourself. Reach out for a hand. Reach inside. Ask yourself, how do I get out of this? I used to go through months and years-long cycles of hell because I never asked myself, how do I get out of this? What can I do? What kind of an intention can I make to do something different, be something different? It didn't dawn on me. Well, I didn't know. If you don't know, you don't know. But now I know. I can ask myself. I can trust myself. I can listen to myself, and I can jump back on my wave, headed up to my pink cloud. And it happens so fast. So fast now. Like a day, 2 days, 3 days. Like once I hit like 3 days and I start doing things that I know aren't good, stuffing my face with food and sugar or smoking pot or drinking or not doing anything, not wanting to get up, not doing the things that make me feel good and doing the things that don't make me feel good. I start to just pay attention to my behaviors and go, oh, or my family telling me, what's wrong? I feel like something's wrong. No, but no, just pay attention and then just do something to make yourself feel better. Make an intention and then listen to yourself. You're going to get nudges and thoughts that are going to lead you to that desire. Just listen, but you got to pay attention and listen to yourself, to your surroundings, to your feelings, to your senses. You know, you might see triple numbers. You might see somebody come into your life. You might hear a stranger walking down the street that totally answers something that you're thinking about. So you got to know what you're thinking. So get off your phone. Listen to your thoughts. You don't have to do it often. You just have to practice. So I hope you consider this. All your dreams, they can come true. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a brain surgeon. I wanted to fix people's brains. Probably because I wanted to have a normal one and I wanted other people to have normal ones. And then I wanted to be a lawyer because I was really good at arguing. And I could always see both sides. There's a lot of value in that. And what was the other one? Oh, I wanted to be an author. Wanted to write. Just because I like writing. And now all those dreams are kind of coming to pass all together. I'm getting to help people with their minds. Tell them that they can heal their brains themselves, because I did it. And I'm getting to see both sides of so many different things. I get to have compassion for the joy, for the pain, for the love, for the hate, for the good, for the bad. So I'm using those skills and I'm going to fight. I'm going to fight like a lawyer does to win something. I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to fight for other people who are in their darkest hours and be like, you don't have to stay there. I'm going to fight for you because you matter. You matter a lot. You are worthy of all sorts of things. All sorts of things. And you can believe that too. You can believe that too. You'll get there. I'm here to tell you. I got chills. You don't have to stay in that place no matter where you're at. You don't have to be there. Make a desire. Make an intention. Listen to yourself. Try it. Hey, maybe I'm full of shit. What worked for me may not work for you. But what have you got to lose? Try it. Try it. It takes like seconds. I mean, what do you desire? What can you do to get there? What's an intention? I make the intention to take that mini step. And then when you just pay attention to yourself and then listen and then do it and just see what happens. It can't hurt. It works. It really does. And you're worth it. So thank you for listening. I really hope that I'm able to get really good audio on this one because I've worked really hard today to get this little setup on a budget done. And I really appreciate you. I appreciate you being here on this earth. This isn't your whole story. Like if you're watching this, you need to know that. Your story's not over. Your book's still being written. If you got some chapters to close up, close them up. If you got a book to close up, I had one. Close it. Let's write a new one. We can do it. You can do it. All right. I love you. Thank you for listening to all my stuff. And just know, it's all going to be okay. All right. I love you. Bye.